Good morning, everybody. This morning we're going to be talking about taking the risk. There are a lot of things that many of us are supposed to get done in our lifetime. We're supposed to get done now. We're extremely hesitant. We walk in fear. We're reluctant. And a lot of the reluctancy is a result of past failures. So I need you to do me a invite somebody to share, tell them coffee time is on. We're getting ready to talk about it. Take the risk. That's what you need to do. Invite somebody to share. We'll be back after this.
Coffee time. Yeah, this ain't your average cup of joe. Listen, I need it in the morning, I need it at night. He always keeps it brewing, he always keeps it tight. Just a little sip, it'll get you right. Terrence Pickett always be the one that gets the coffee right. The coffee's right, the coffee's right in my life. It's never a wrong time over crime to get what's yours and to get what's mine. Come on. Coffee time in my life. Coffee time feels so right. I need a little sugar, put it in my cup. Can you stir it, Terrence? Let me know what's up. And at the end of the show, you can brew another pot. Just make sure you make it hot. Come on. Time in my life. Coffee time feels so right. I need a little sugar, put it in my cup. Can you stir it, Terrence? Let me know what's up. And at the end of the show, you can brew another pot. Just make sure you make it hot. Come on.
And good morning again. It's another great day to be alive, y'all. So many people didn't wake up today. There are so many people dealing with so many things. So many people woke up in the hospital not sure what the rest of their life is going to look like. But you're alive and you're well. And for that, you ought to be grateful, thankful, and appreciative. So this morning, we're going to talk about taking the risk, or take the risk. Von Oliver, good morning. To all of you that are on right now, good morning. Do me a favor, invite somebody, share. On last night, we did the live recording for the Mother's Day concert. It's going to air this coming Sunday, which is Mother's Day. And, man, I'm pretty excited about that, but I am worn completely out. I'm tired. But we did the recording last night. That's generally the bulk of the work. Now we have to go and edit a few things, but we're getting it ready for Mother's Day. Last year, we did it live. It was not a pre-record. We did it live. This year, we pre-recorded for various reasons, primarily scheduling. Just kind of hard to get people together. In addition to that, we had mothers who were a part of the project last year, singers, musicians, etc. And we wanted to give them the time to spend with their own families. So I want to say thank you all for those of you that helped make this happen. You have no earthly idea how grateful that I am. Thank you for partnering with me. One of our sponsors, her name is Nikki Nicole Mitchell. She gave a sponsor, and I was appreciative of it. Reached out to her, told her thank you. She said something that just echoed in the hallway of my soul. She said, "We are in this together. We are in this We're in this together. That just went real deep. And that's what I want to talk to you about this morning. We're in this together, but take the risk. A lot of people won't take the risk and step out of the boat of being comfortable because they've experienced some level of failure in times past. And that memory has taken root in their soul. And they are afraid to try anything else because they remember what it was like when they tried the last time and it did not work out. That's just not as it relates to business, dreams. It's also as it relates to relationships. We are afraid to take certain risks because we remember what it was like when things fell apart, when we failed. We remember what it was like when it didn't go over the way that we wanted it to. And because of the memory that has been lodged in our soul, we hinder forward progress because we're still marinating on the loss and the memories of yesterday. You know, it takes a certain strength just to keep living. I want you to think about that. It takes a certain strength to keep living. It takes a certain strength to keep going. I want you to think about this, especially for those that this is applicable to. You wake up every morning, you go to a job you don't like, you deal with people you don't like. You're constantly in battle in some kind of way, whether it's privately or publicly. You're constantly in battle with your haters, and still you do the same thing every day. You deal with the level of hate, you deal with being uncomfortable, you deal with so many different things on your job, but you're still there every day. Why haven't you snapped? Why haven't you gone off? Because you have a strength that you don't give yourself credit for. Things always look worse than what they are. And fear always takes a certain level of advantage when you're looking at it from afar. It's not until you start, it's not until you get going that you're able to see the thing that you were afraid of wasn't that hard after all. Sometimes the biggest step in making the next step is convincing yourself that it's time to move. So you have the strength. The strength is inside of you. You have the wit because you've had to use your mind to overcome so many different things. Listen to how you talk yourself into doing the stuff that you know you hate doing, and still you do it. Why? Because of obligations. If you would give yourself that same space and be obligated to yourself to fulfill your destiny, to fulfill your dreams, and to fulfill the things inside of your heart that you know you should be doing, it's the same strength, the same force. It's the same power that you're using going to somebody's job or dealing with somebody you don't want to deal with. We did the Joanne, God's chosen vessel. Good morning. Nikki Mitchell, good morning. Duchess O'Neill, good morning. Sunshine 1113, good morning. All of you that are on YouTube, you are the bomb, baby. You are the bomb. All of you on all platforms that show up every morning, you're great. There's nobody greater. You are the greatest. So thank you for tuning in. But I want you to look and really pay attention to the things that you have to live through, the things that you have to force yourself through, the things that you go through on a day-to-day basis. And there are days you wake up, come on, tell the truth, you're not with it. I know I'm not. Vonda Oliver, do me a favor. Text your sister Rhonda. Tell her I haven't seen her. She should pop on. Just say hello. So you have the wit to do it. You have the strength to do it. It's just a matter of convincing yourself to get it done. You wake up, there are mornings and days that you wake up and it's just like, oh my God. It takes so much strength just to get out of the bed. And a lot of that is because your strength was exhausted on yesterday because you gave everything you had. And it took everything in you not to tell that one person exactly how you felt. And it depleted your energy as well as your drive. So you went to bed last night physically and mentally exhausted. You woke up this morning just needing, it's not necessarily that you need sleep, you just need rest. Because a lot of us, we're going to sleep, but we're not getting rest. Teresa Bryant, always on the spot, always on point. Good morning. So you woke up this morning and you're just not with it. You just, let me be a little more specific. There are some people that deserve to be cussed out with all zeal and strength. They do. They deserve it. They deserve it. There are some people that deserve. They do. They deserve the worst part of you. Yeah, they deserve to be straightened, ironed out. They deserve to be snapped on. But look at how resilient you are. You know they deserve it, and you didn't give it to them. You were able to muster up enough strength to just control yourself and change your environment, or you were able to woo-saw, you were able to praise, you were able to work. You didn't give them what they deserve. You should be commended for that. You know what level of strength that takes? It's the same strength that it's going to take for you to do you. Tina White McPherson, good morning. Oftentimes when we look at things from afar off, they look bigger, seem bigger than what they really are. So let me show this to you. We did the Mother's Day video recording last night. We didn't prepare for that 2 months in advance. I wasn't even sure if we were going to do one, just because of how things begin to flow, settle. The biggest thing is schedules, getting everybody together. And almost at the 9th hour, we decided to do it. You started to give towards it. It was your giving that convinced me, yeah, this has got to be done. 2 weeks ago, we raised the question, asked you, the audience, hey, would you like You all said, yes. Well, if you want it now, you're gonna have to support it, give towards it. You got to help me. You got to help shoulder the responsibility and help carry the cost. There's so many phases in this. And Vonda Oliver, thank you so much. There's so many phases to this, stages to this. And I have a beautiful, God has sent me the right people to partner. So listen to this. Just 2.5 weeks ago, we made the decision we were going to do it. We were going to take the risk in this short window of time, and we were going to try, and we were going to get this Mother's Day concert done. Now, Mother's Day is Sunday, folk. Mother's Day is Sunday. And I called my music director, and I was like, hey, we're going to do the concert again this year. And I think it was the 22nd when I brought it to you all, April the 22nd. Not really knowing that it was less than 3 weeks away. Now watch this, because we're talking about taking the risk. And I'm telling you, this stuff that I be telling y'all, I'm living it. I really am. I'm living it. I'm living it. So we had to find out which band members are available. Short period of time. Which singers are available? Because it's a short period of time. Are the engineers available? Is the venue available? One of the singers were not available. A few of the musicians were not available. Now we've got to find subs. It's going to cost, when everything's said and done, it's going to cost well over $30,000 to get this thing done and done right, because there's 2 phases. We've completed the first phase. We still have a balance of about $2,600 that we have to pay. But because we decided to take the risk, we're going to do it. We're going to be a blessing to the mothers, and it's going to be nice. And we're not going to allow anything to stop us. So the people that could not be there, the people that were not available, we were able to get subs. And everything began to move extremely fast. Then last night, at the last minute, the venue that we were going to have it at the last minute, we had to make a change. There's adversity that is attached to the risk. But listen to me. Once you get over the initial stage of fear, once you get past yourself, your mind, how you think, once you get past that and you're able to start taking the steps towards the goal, I promise you, nothing will be able to stop you. You are your worst critic. You are. You're your worst critic. You're the reason, you are the sole reason that a lot of things have not gotten done, because you can't get past you to see the overall picture. I saw the big picture. I did. Now, I got nervous, especially when that money stopped coming in. People were giving daily. You were giving daily, weekly. Some of you all gave 2 and 3 times. And man, it just lit my heart up. Yes, we're going to reach our goal. And then it just stopped. Nobody gave no more. It was like, all right, it's a done deal now. And I gave you everything I had, Pickett. That's all I got. And we could have gotten discouraged and canceled it, but we were too invested. This is what I'm saying to you. Most times when it's time to take a risk, there are going to be so many things that stand against you. There are going to be so many people that stand against you. You're going to have to be able to take a licking and keep on ticking. We did the project last night. We had a lot of adversities. We had to overcome a lot of things. But let me tell you this. I maintained my level of peace because I had spoken what we were going to do. Now, here's why people don't take the risk. They say it, we're going to do it, but they don't have the presence of peace in their heart, so they're tormented by their emotions. When you're taking the risk, you cannot allow your emotions to take the lead. You can't. I'm going to give you this. Listen to this. You can't let people guilt trip you either because you had to change your mind. We had to make some changes at the last minute. And people had obligations. They had other things that they had to do. And they were coming to me with legitimate concerns. And I had to make a decision. This decision was not comfortable to everybody. But I had to make the decision, and the decision was, we still got to get this done. In taking the risk, you got to keep your eyes on the goal, and you can't stop until the goal is done. You cannot be moved by your emotions, and you cannot be moved or triggered by the emotions of other people. You're going to have to be able to move, have a clear conscience, see the goal before you reach the goal, and it'll give you the strength that is needed to make the goal happen. But it all begins with taking the first step. Now, let me ask you all this, and everybody that's on, if you don't mind, I want you to please indulge me on this. Will you tell me, is there one thing in your life that you need to take the risk on? I need you to talk back to me. Just all you got to do is say yes. You don't have to tell us what it is. But is there one thing you know you need to take a risk on? And I wait for your, I'm waiting. I'm looking at the screen. Look at this. Look at this. Sunshine 1113 says, sure. Nikki Mitchell said yes. Tina White McPherson said yes. Anybody else that's on? Is there one thing you know you need to take? You know it's time for you to take the risk in doing. Because I'm looking at the numbers and only 3 people have responded. There are a lot more numbers than those 3 people. Now, let me ask you this. What is the main reason you haven't taken the risk? Is it money? And don't answer this. Don't answer this. Is it money? Let's talk about not having money. Let's talk about not having money. So, and I'm using the Mother's Day project as an example, but there have been many other projects we've done, and we run into the same issue. It's always money. For me, it is. You know, I muscle up enough strength. Okay, we're going to do it. We're going to get her done. It's about to happen. We always run out of money. DeJuan McIntyre, good morning. We always run out of money. I don't think I've ever had enough money to complete a project. What do? Well, you have to continue to trust God that he was behind the project from the beginning. And in knowing that he is the force behind the project, you have to settle within yourself that a lot of times It's not going to work out the way you think it is. But you got to know that God is in the risk with you. That's why he gave you the idea. And let me tell you this, because we live in a generation of information and everybody has the answer. All you got to do is trust God. All you got to do, trusting God does not come easy. It's nerve-wracking. It is. It is. It's nerve-wracking. You don't know the level of stress that it can cause, because you're constantly having to talk to yourself and convince yourself God got you in this. So I don't want you to believe that it's just easy. Just trust God. You know, I listen to white evangelicals. They talk about trusting God like it is picking up this cup of coffee, and they make it look so easy. They make it sound so easy. It's easy for them because of the opportunity that they've been granted. It's not that easy for us folk of color, because there's so many things that we have to press against. You don't know the days that I have to talk to myself, because here's the deal. Now, this is the other part. God always causes you to do something that's going to stretch you. And he always causes you to do something that is outside of you. Meaning, if you have the resources for it, either it's not big enough or you're working on the wrong project, because the stuff that God's going to call you to do is going to be beyond you. In order to complete it, in order to get it done, you're going to have to take the risk of getting started. Then you're going to have to trust God for the provisions, and you're going to have to trust God for the people. One message that was sent to me when that woman, Nikki Mitchell, when she said to me, "We are in this together," it was encouraging. And you got to know something. There are people in the world that has been assigned to the thing that you have not taken the risk in doing. And the longer you wait to take the risk, the more uncomfortable the people that were assigned to it, they become. And then you got to understand that they're getting agitated just like you are. And their attention a lot of times leave and goes to something else. There's a reason we're supposed to obey what the Lord gives us when he gives it. Because there's a domino effect. And your inability to take the risk, to step out and get this thing done, is hindering the prosperity and success of those that it's supposed to bless. Number one. Number two, you're hindering the purpose of other people because they're supposed to be involved with it and in it. So it's not just you. This is why you got to obey it. This is why you got to take the risk. This is why you got to do it. This is why you got to get it done now. This is why you got to get in a hurry. This is why you got to take this thing serious. This is why you cannot procrastinate. This is why you cannot wait. You don't know whose life that one word that I got, we are in this together. That one word, we are in this together. Now watch this. My obedience in stepping out triggered the obedience of others to support. And the word that I needed to keep going, I got, but it did not happen until I executed the idea. Let me tell you something, folks. I'm gonna tell you this real talk. Like, you've got to get serious about what you're supposed to do, and you cannot allow anything to stop you, not even the fear inside of you. Whatever you allow to stop you will become the reason that you don't get it done. You've got to you've got to go, and you've got to see this thing for what it is. There's a reason that God gave it to you. There's a reason you're supposed to do it. And you're going to have to jump on that thing. You're going to have to jump on it like your life depends on it. Because I believe somebody's life does. I'm going to give you this too. When you take the risk, it's supposed to make you uncomfortable. I'll say it again. When you take the risk, it's supposed to make you uncomfortable. You know, most of us, and you all help me out now. Don't leave me out here by myself. You know, I'm telling on me, but I need you to join this boat with me. How many of you are very uncomfortable with asking people for help? Just put in the comments, I am. Come on, be true. Tell the truth. How many of you, you know, you don't want to ask nobody for help? Come on, tell the truth. Teresa, thank you. Thank you for your honesty. Nikki, thank you for your honesty. Tina, thank you for your honesty. Let me ask you this. You know, because I do this, I'm here. Duchess O'Neill, thank you for your honesty. So when I'm asking for help, do you all does it look like, and this is not a trick question, does it look like I'm good with it? Tammy Small, hey Tammy, how are you? You kiss your mom for me, Tammy, and give a big hug to your dad. I talk about your mom, especially here lately. I've been talking about your mom a lot, and your dad. I talked about the recording that we did as kids on WCGL, I believe. And your mom was over it. It was a group of kids, me, Timothy Cole. It was a bunch of us, Soraya. It was probably about 30 kids. We used to meet on Thursday nights at Falls Temple as kids. We'd sing. She'd push us up to sing. She gave me my first lead to a song. Just great memories. I talk about the rich, sultry voice that your father has. Ugh. And they're just beautiful people. Listen, I loved them then and I love them now. You make sure you send them my love. So do you all think I struggle with asking for help? And it's not a trick question. I need you to answer that. We're having a dialogue this morning because there's some things that I'm really trying to get you to see. Does it look like I struggle? And you can be honest. Whatever your answer is your answer. Tina White McPherson said, no, it doesn't look like I struggle. Okay, anybody else? When I'm asking for your help, does it look like I struggle? Tina White McPherson said, I think you do. Okay. Anybody else? Anybody else? Duchess O'Neill, does it look like I struggle? Teresa Bryan, does it look like I struggle? She said, I think so. Let me tell y'all something. Anytime I have to ask people for help, it's a struggle. Shantara Kirkwood says, I think you may as well, but do you? Yes. Tina White McPherson says, you ask another question, and that's what the... Oh, okay, I got you. Nikki Mitchell says, no, don't look like it, but I always explain that it is. It is a struggle. Tammy Small says, I don't think you like to ask for help because you try to have everything in control. You are exactly correct. Duchess O'Neill says, there are times I can sense the pull. It's there. So leading up to this Mother's Day project, there was at least 3 times when I was too busy, I had a lot going on, or too tired, or I didn't even have the motivation just to get on and do coffee time. I didn't have the motivation. It just wasn't there. What motivated me to come on and do it is I needed the help of too many people. Me knowing what the budget was, me knowing what it takes to pull this off at the last minute, me knowing what it's going to take to pay for it, that gave me the motivation. My God, I don't want to ask. Felt very uncomfortable at times. Now, sometimes I can ask and it doesn't bother me, but for the most part, yeah, asking for help can be very troublesome. I don't like it because it makes you vulnerable. And none of us like to depend on people, especially now you've opened up to depend on people and they tell you no in your most vulnerable moment. It can be discouraging. But the more you hear that no, the harder you becomes, the stronger you becomes with hearing no, and no will stop affecting you because I listen to no all day now. I'm asking people, hey, I need help. Can you? No, I'm not going to be able to do that. Well, could you at least give, listen, I've had people tell, could you at least give something to, no, I'm not going to be able to do that either. And no is a complete sentence. That just, so it's just like, oh, okay. Well, I love you. Thank you for, I guess, considering. I don't really know what to say when you tell me no. You kind of snatch everything that I have. In the moment, sometimes it's disheartening, sometimes it's not. Sometimes I'm so focused on what the goal is, I don't have time to feel your answer. I'm not going to let the no get inside of me because for every no, there is a yes. For everybody that tells me no, I'm not going to be able to do it. And people have legitimate reasons. Everybody can't be a part of what you're doing. People have stuff going on outside of this. All right. Confident. Oh, that's good, Shantara. That's good. That's good. Your confidence, let's read this here. This is Sunshine. Your confidence doesn't make it appear that you have an issue, only when you explain the struggle. That's good. There's a reason for that. What I believe I'm called to do, I'm in it. Whether people help me or not, I'm still charged to do it. So my confidence is really in my call. No one can talk me out of telling me what I'm supposed to be. You ain't supposed to be doing. You can't. You'd be wasting your time. Because I'm confident in what I'm called to do, I understand the other things that are attached to it that I'm forced to do. I cannot it's not humanly possible for me to do this by myself because the vision is too big. Do you know we feed the hungry? We feed the homeless. We provide funds for people that are struggling financially. We assist cancer patients. They're in chemo. They can't work. They don't have money. We do that. In addition to all of that, there are times people get in tights. They can't pay their car note. They can't pay their rent. They can't pay their mortgage. There are surgery procedures that their insurance do not cover. We help all those people. Our reach is bigger than our presence. I can't do that by myself. I tried and I went broke. And it was being broke, almost to tears, asking God, I'm only trying to do what you told me to do. For him to say to me, but I didn't tell you to do it by yourself. Then he turned around and had one of my friends call me. And this is what my friend challenged me, because I never asked nobody. We've been doing this over 10 years out of our pocket. It's within the last 2 years that we start asking for help. So I'm 8 years strong by myself, where I financed it personally. And one of my brothers in the faith, big brother in the faith, called me and challenged me. And this is what he said. Do you believe you're doing what God told you to do? Oh, I know I'm doing what he told me to do. Okay. Do you believe that God wants to provide for it? Yes. He says, okay, well, why haven't you asked the people to support you? I said, well, you know, I finance it, so I don't see the need. No, there is a need. He said, it's your pride that won't let you ask. It's your pride that won't allow you to ask. Here's why. Because you don't want to be in a position where you depend on people. He says, but you're hindering them from their blessing and you're hindering your own expansion. There's more that God has for you to do, but you're not going to be able to do it with your budget. You don't have enough. Listen, you're talking about a humbling experience just listening to. I want to hang up the phone. Sir, thank you for calling. Goodbye. Because a lot of times when challenges like that comes and it pierces the core of your soul, you're embarrassed. You should know this, Pickett. Embarrassed. But it took that exposure for me to open up. It took me opening up for me to get the help. Closed mouths don't get fed. Now, what we were doing once a month, now we're doing every week because of you. So you have to get over. You got to get over you. Get over your insecurities. Get over what you think people are going to say. Get over being vulnerable. Get over it, because it's not going to change. And if you don't master it now, it's going to pose a problem for you in the future. The reason you can't take the risk now is you are afraid. You're in your own way. God's already provided everything that you are going to need. The explanation of God providing seems a little easy than depending on God to provide. Here's the reality. He's already given you everything that you need. Your strength in trusting him decides when the provision is going to be distributed. It's not that God is waiting and holding back on you. He's already provided. He's already done all he's going to do. It's your level of faith in what you do that determines the flow of provision. When you're not flowing in provision, God cannot provide, because in order to get what he's provided for you, you have to exercise what you believe. And it's in your belief and trusting that the provision begins to flow. So it's not on God. It's on us. We say trust God, but he's done his part. It's already completed. The reality is it's us trusting in what he did that determines the flow of what we have. My brother is on. Listen, we go way back to when I was knee high, and I think he's a lot older than I am. I know he looks it. No, I'm just James Ross, what's up, bro? That's my bro, and I love him. Love you, bro. In addition to stepping out, taking the risk, getting things done, you still have to deal with the things that happen in everyday life. Let me give you an example. Last Thursday morning, I was filling out some paperwork, and I was watching one of my friends on live. He was on live. He was talking good stuff, and I watched him for about 15 minutes. And then where I was, I had my earphones in, but where I was filling out some paperwork, trying to get some other things done, I had to go. I had to go, so I couldn't finish watching. This was last Thursday morning. Friday morning, one of my bros hit me up and said, hey, Chris was killed in a car accident last night. Because I know so many Chris. I'm like, Chris who? And he said, Candid. I said, Britain? So I'm in the middle of a project, several projects. I'm in the middle of several projects, and I still got life to deal with. That was my friend. That was my guy. I never forget, because you don't know how people view you unless they tell you. But there's a mutual friend, Tanya Thomas, that Chris and I have. Chris and I, we go way back to AOL days. And AOL had a basketball team. Chris and I, we started for the team. We played together. Chris was actually, I believe, the captain of the team. His brother Dwayne was the center. We didn't just play together. There are times we had to fight the other team. You violate one of our players, we stuck together. Unlike this society where everybody's looking for an opportunity to hurt somebody else, we stuck together, so we defended each other. You fight one of us, you fight all of us. We were that tight of a group where as time progressed and moved on, everybody started going their own directions in life. AOL closed down. And I started in radio and start doing what I'm doing now. Chris told Tanya, I don't think Terrence ain't gonna talk to me. And I don't know why he felt that way. I really don't. Because I've been the same Terrence Pickett. Ross can tell you that. Am I right, Ross? Correct me if I'm wrong. From the time we were kids to now, I've gotten wiser, but I'm the same person. I don't know a stranger. I love everybody. If I don't hug you, it's probably because I don't want you to get what I have. It ain't got nothing to do with you. And finally, he called me. Chris called me. He reached out to me, told me some things that was on his heart, and he wanted to meet up. We met up. We had a long conversation. We hung out for a little minute, talked about it. I helped him as much as I can to, hey, man, you need to do this. When you do it this way. Oh, yeah, let me tell you this. Don't do this. And I gave him all the wisdom that I had. I gave him all the connections that I had. He was in his lane. I was in my lane. Now, here's the deal. Just because a person is not present with you while you're doing what you do doesn't mean they're against you. You got to understand, people are busy trying to fulfill what's on their life. And he and I had that discussion. But I supported him in everything that he did. When he would call, ask for advice, I try and give him the right advice. We see each other on different sets. We were involved in a lot of things in the community together. And it was always love. And he went home to be with the Lord. It's still unreal to me. Well, I'm in the middle of a project and I'm grieving. Then yesterday, the day of the recording, I forgot it was my Auntie Betty's birthday. That just about took me out. So you still got to deal with life. Taking the risk is not going to exempt you from the trouble that exists in your everyday life. You're going to have to learn how to manage those things, take the risk, and deal with everything that comes with the risk. But you got to remember, you're not moving and operating in your own strength. There's a strength of God that is in you. It's over you. It's around you. It's covering you. And it's going before you to prepare the way for you to get everything that you need. It's time to take the risk. This is the other reason why we procrastinate. Here's another reason why. We arrogantly assume that tomorrow is promised. Who told you that? Ross says always the same since Brentwood. Since we were knee high, that it have not changed. Who told you that tomorrow's promised to you? What is it in life that you know you're supposed to do and that you refuse to take the risk? Who told you God owes you tomorrow? God doesn't owe you anything. This is why when he says, the day that you hear my voice, harden not your heart. In other words, when I tell you to do something, don't you play hard to get with me. Get it done. We're presumptuous. We're arrogantly assuming that God's going to give us tomorrow. This is why we don't move today. And this is why we have caused the climate of our insecurities to be larger than his voice. You got to change the climate in your life. You're going to have to do it scared. It's a lot of things I'm scared of. Fear comes all the time. I'm tempted to fear all the time. And I'm not the kind of person you really want to be around when I'm on edge. I've learned how to manage it. Now people don't even see it, but I be falling apart on the inside sometimes. You got to take the risk, folk. There are some things that you're supposed to be doing. There are some things that you're supposed to get done, and it's not going to happen till you take the risk and do it. You don't have tomorrow. All you have is today. God's already provided. To the degree of your trust will determine the degree and the level of your ability to see his provision. God had to really help me with that one, because I felt like, okay, I got to believe God that he's going to provide. And he told me whatever's needed has already been done. I've completed my work. You're not trusting and believing for me to provide. You're trusting and believing that you have the faith to receive what I provided. There's the clarity. It's not on God. It's on us. That's coffee time this morning. Listen, it's real simple, you know, and I get that it's easier said than done. But you got to go back to what he promised. He said he'd never leave us or forsake us. He promised to always be there. Well, if he promised to be there, guess what? He's going to keep his word. What we have to do, we have to trust him. And the problem is not him doing. The problem is us trusting. It's a lot to process this morning. It really is. There's a lot to process. But here's what I'm going to leave you with. I'm going to leave you with this thought. If today was the last day you had on earth, how would you manage your day? Think about that. Meaning, if you were to go home to be with the Lord right now, how would you manage your day? Don't assume that God owes you anything. Do what he called you to do. You got to do what he called you to do. It's in doing what you're called to do that he meets you. It's your trusting him that causes him to release what he has for you. Y'all have a great day. If you would like to sponsor Coffee Time, be a part of what we're doing, we were able to push the last little bit of the debt that we have on the back end. It's about $2,600. I'm not worried about it. It's going to come in. But if it's been on your heart to give, to support what we do, to give more, now is the time to do it. The Cash App is $sponsor Coffee Time. $sponsor Coffee Time. Remember, listen, I can't do this without you, and you're going to need people to do what you got to do. Listen, we were born to win, predestined to succeed. There's nothing that can happen to us that the wisdom on the inside of us is not able to handle. We've got to calm down, slow down, be quiet, trust God, and listen to wisdom. When wisdom speak, you will always win. You all go be great today. Remember to think higher, speak life, end the procrastination. It's time for you to be great and do all that you're supposed to. Make your life count in the world, because you're only going to live here once. You all have a great day. Bye-bye.